What's going on, guys? It's Lewis here with Crypto Elite, and I'm gonna make a quick video. I want to make a lot more videos, so I'm trying to do that. Quick market update, because as much as I wanted the price to continue to go up, it's looking a little top heavy right now. So I'm just gonna go over this really quickly. I'm gonna start off with Bitcoin. And then I'm going to look at Ethereum against Bitcoin, because if Ethereum is coming into a nice support against Bitcoin and it might outperform Bitcoin, then I will switch my Bitcoin into Ethereum. I'll trade my Bitcoin into Ethereum, and then I'll trade alts based off their Ethereum pairs. And then I'll look at Ethereum on the USD chart anyway, and then probably just ES1. So before I do any of that though, I do want to mention a couple things. First thing is that I switched over to using Bybit a while ago, actually, and I've been really enjoying it. So I use Bybit, and something that I realized this a while ago, but I never utilized it. And now, like, going through just like reviewing everything, I'm sort of wondering why I haven't utilized this, and that is the fact that that is their conditional orders. So they have conditional orders available in Bybit, and I love conditional orders. So conditional orders, what they are orders that you could place on the exchange that say, if the price comes down to this level, then you will buy either at this level or at maybe a little bit below it. You'll put a order on a little bit below it. Or if the price comes up here, then you will buy at this level, or you'll put a buy order a little bit below there. Or you could say, if the price goes down here, you'll put a sell order somewhere up here. And the reason why this is great is because these conditional orders don't actually, as far as I know, they don't actually take up or use your current value, your current assets. So let's say you have $10,000 on the exchange, right? And you want to say, if the price of Bitcoin comes back up here and retouch it, or comes up a little bit above these previous highs, right? If it comes up here, what you want to do is you want to get in on a retrace on a support resistance flip, and maybe you want to get in right there, and you want to target new highs. Well, if you put a regular order in, just a regular stop limit order in, where you say, okay, if it comes up here, that's your stop, and then your limit order will be here. That is different than a conditional order. A conditional order will say, if the price comes up here, then that will trigger the limit order to be put into the books, and your limit order will be put in right here. And you could also set your take profit and your stop loss all in Bybit. And I used to have to use 3 commas for this, and obviously I don't use 3 commas anymore, even though they do have the best features out of any third-party software for trading. I will never use 3 commas again, because they got hacked, and once something gets hacked, it could get hacked again, and you can never be too careful, you know? And I lost a big chunk of my account because hackers, someone in 3 commas stole everyone's API connections and sold it off to hackers on the dark net. And then the hackers, they ended up stealing millions and millions of dollars from people who used 3 commas. And 3 commas was not taking responsibility for it at all, and they're just absolutely terrible. So I hate them from a moral and ethical standpoint. So even though they do have really good UI and really good features, I'm never going to use 3 commas again, because screw them. And so I found this other thing called Altrady, and I use Altrady instead. And also I'm learning how to code myself so that I can put in so I can make my own bots, and I could make my own Pine script in order to do the things that I want to do when it comes to trading. So there's all of that. I just wanted to mention that before we got started. And so now that that's out of the way, let's actually get into the charts. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna start with Bitcoin, and then ETH, BTC, and then ETH, and then the S&P 500. Okay, so we're starting off on Bitcoin, and we'll start off on the monthly chart. So I have this right here on the monthly chart, and I have a lot of things, but I go over all of these things once a month in the beginning of the month. So I'm not going to do that right now because there's no point. I did it last update. What I'm looking on the monthly chart is the fact that we, kept on going down, from the highs. We went down, made a lower high, went down, made a lower high, went down, made a lower high, went down. And now after January ended, we actually made a higher high compared to the previous swing high on the monthly chart, which was right here, right? So now we have a higher high, the first higher high that we've had on the monthly chart since the top. And that is a really big deal because that signifies that there was a break in the market structure or a market structure shift, which happens when you create a higher high after a series of lower highs. And so now technically we are in an uptrend. So what I'm looking for mostly is for price to come down anywhere and then eventually make its way up to this area right up here. So this I labeled out $28,939. So we're going to say 28,900 just to be safe is the yearly open and close of 2020 and 2021. So it was the close of 2020 and the open of 2021. That happened right here, as you could see. That's where Bitcoin closed and then opened up, right? So there's that, plus it's the 38.2 fib level. So I don't have the fib on here, but I'm sure if I actually plot it out, we will see it. So let me do that real quick. All right, top to bottom, bottom to top. And there you go. So this is actually the 23.6 from the entire move. This is the 38.2 from the entire move, but that is the 38.2 from just about this move, which is a pretty significant move. So yeah, 27,900 to 28,900. That is a really, really big area. And if we go down into the weekly charts, let me pull this up right here. Then we could see that Bitcoin, we get a little bit more granular with it, and we could see that Bitcoin, it had that break in the market structure right here, and this was the previous swing high. So now it came down, but it never actually touched this previous swing high, at least not on the Coinbase chart. So that does sort of make me think that we are going to come back down to this area and fill it in again. And one thing that I did was I drew the range from this, swing high right here to this swing low right here. That's a range. And then we deviated below the range, and then we made our way back up to the mid. So you could see the mid is the 50 line right here. So that's the mid from this high basically to this low, and now we're at the mid. And so of course we're going to have a lot of resistance there, because not only is it the mid, but it's also the previous weekly swing resistance as well. So we have this, and it's not looking too good. We still have 4 more days, but as of right now, we got a swing failure pattern above the previous weekly swing high back here, and it went above it and then came back below and closed below it. So I really don't like that, especially considering the week prior to this one, it tagged it as a wick. And then it wicked above that and then fell back below. That's really not that good. Plus you have a weekly RSI bearish divergence. So you can see the bearish divergence right here. This is lower than this, except this is higher than this. So that's not really good. Plus the weekly has a tick on the MACD going down, and it really had a tick going down here, but now it's having another one right here. So I don't really like that as well. Plus this is a triple pattern. So 1, 2, 3. Typically you don't see more than 3. Like back here, this is not really a 3, but sort of like 1, 2, 3, or no, I guess actually this is it. 1 up, and then another 2, and then another 3 right there. Typically you have 2. So 1, 2, and then down. And sometimes you have 1. So 1 and then down. But this is 1, 2, and then down. And this is 1 and then down. So to get 3 is a lot more rare. And right now we have 3. And so that I don't know. I'm just thinking it's more likely to come back down because of all of this. So this is the weekly chart. We do have the swing failure pattern. And if it comes back up to 27,800, that's when I would really like to get out. I would really, really like to get out right there, because it's simply an area that has a lot of resistance to it. And it's right before we get to here. I'm considering that, like obviously we could go up to 35. Hell, we could even go all the way up to $45,000, $46,000 and still be in a bear market. But just to be on the safe side, I will take my profits here. I think we will reach this though. I don't think that we fall back below here. Let's go down into a little bit of a more local time frame now, just to get some more clarity into what is going on. And you could see, well, if I reset this, you could see right here, we have this bullish order block down here on the 12-hour that we never actually tagged. We never tagged this either. And typically this likes to get tagged. This was a huge candle that created a big fair value gap right here that did get filled in before the move up. So that's really good. But I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, well, we never actually did tag this bullish order block. And there's a lot of people that longed right here that have their stops down here. And I've been researching a ton of this particular trader called the Inner Circle Trader, ICT, and I'm going through his mentorship program right now. And he really says that the liquidity loves to be ran, and his big thing is pretty much stop loss hunts. So right now, well, we have this swing low right here, right? And it's like we have this swing low. Right below that is the bullish order block and demand. So there's a lot of sell side liquidity right here for the people who bought right here, who have their stops down here, or the people who will buy if we get a retest of the bottom with their stops down here. So I'm thinking that this is probably going to happen. Before that happens though, I do expect us to get a bounce off the 61.8, because also, this is a fair value gap right here, this whole area, because this just goes up, 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 and it never retraces. There's no wicks, there's nothing in it. And typically, the fair value gaps like to get filled in. So I'm pretty sure it's going to come back down to at least here. But honestly, probably right here. That's what I'm betting on. So I wouldn't mind starting to load up around 22K and maybe just load up from 22 down to 21 just to make sure that I'm in it, because overall, I do believe that we will hit 27 over the next few months. One thing, I'm a little scared of this, but if we actually go back, let me go to the weekly chart, and then hopefully I could go to 2019. Nope, this is Bybit. So I need to actually go back to this chart to make sure that we get it. So give me 1 second. I don't know why this is so slow. I need to get the new MacBook M2 chip or something like that. So what I'm thinking of, and what a lot of people have been thinking of, is the 2019 chart, right? The 2019 chart, and you could see that we had this huge move up back here on the weekly time frame, like buy, huge move up, and we never actually came all the way back down. We sort of just consolidated and then had another huge move up and only came back down just a little bit. So that's in 2019, right? So now, actually, let me go back to here. So now we have this big move up, and then I guess you could say this is somewhat of a consolidation because we did end up coming down. And I don't think we're going to come all the way back down below here now, but I can see us consolidating, coming back down a little bit lower, like how I just explained, right? So I'm pretty cautious. What will make me bullish is if we actually move back up and go back above this area and start like consolidating right underneath the resistance again. That would be pretty bullish. So that's what I want to see. I want to see either we come back up here and consolidate a little bit, or I'm going to start stacking in. I'll probably honestly start stacking in at 23, 22, 21. Yeah, and go all in at 21 just because I think this is a really, really good area. And you could also do this. You could also say that this is a range right here. We have the swing low right there. We have the highs right there. Make this a range. Where are we at? We have the 50 line. Okay, so this actually just doing this right now makes me even more thinking that we're going to definitely get a bounce from $22,843 because this is not only the 61.8 of this move up, but it's the 50% of this entire move right here, which I'm sure if you go to a particular chart, this would be the chart. So 1, 2, 3. I guess you could also say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, because the third has to be bigger than the first. So sorry, I'm trying to see if there's some type of, no, I can't really see any type of Elliott wave because this move right here was so big. So anyway, this is the 50 of this from this bottom to this top, and it's the 61.8 of this move. So I do like that. Also, if I pull this like this, you could also argue, you could also say that this was a range from this bottom to this top, right? Or you could even do it from here to here, right? And that this was a close above. This fell back down and was just a retest before popping back up. And now that we fell back down below it, now we're back down below this range high again, which, excuse me, is right here. And this is pretty bearish as well. This is pretty bearish as well. So I'm sure if we go down to a lower time frame, we can see, okay, so yeah, now we have a market structure break. We have a bearish market structure break on the 12 hour, a true bearish. This was not a bearish market structure break on the 12 hour, but now we actually have one. This one is one because this right here was the previous low. Now we're back below it. So honestly, I would make this red and I would look for a short back up to here, and I would target here as my first target. And then I would probably target here as my second target. This is what I think is probably going to happen if you had to ask me. Next up, we have Ethereum, and I'm going to start off on the Ethereum against Bitcoin chart because I really want to know what's going to outperform Bitcoin, or should I just hold Bitcoin? And so I plotted this out, and I have a lot of alerts actually. So ETH BTC getting really close to support. It's going to get really close to support down here. And not just the horizontal support, as you can see, there's a lot of horizontal demand right there, all the way back there, some resistance over there, support right there. But also, if you take the diagonal, boom, diagonal support. So right around here, if ETH BTC gets down here, that's when I want to start turning some of my Bitcoin into Ethereum. And then definitely if it comes down here, I want to do that. But as of right now, Ethereum is not outperforming Bitcoin. So I wanted to stick with Bitcoin until this gets to a really nice level. So that's Ethereum against Bitcoin. And now if we take a look at the Ethereum chart, just the USD chart, I would probably, like, the fact that Ethereum is underperforming Bitcoin means that I would probably want to short Ethereum over shorting Bitcoin. You know, I would want to short altcoins more than I would want to short Bitcoin. And so let's look at Ethereum on the weekly time frame. Let me go to this chart. Maybe there's something here from a couple of weeks ago. So we have the high, lower high, lower high, lower high. This was actually a higher high. So this was a market structure break, but we just crashed right after that. And then the merge happened. So we got the run up from the merge, and then lower high, lower high, lower high. And then finally a higher high. So we did get the higher high just a couple weeks ago in January, sort of like Bitcoin. And if you take the fib from this top to this bottom. The 61.8 is right there. We tagged it, and then fell. That was pretty obvious that that was going to happen, even though this move was really only 10%. Only 10%. 10% is great, but like I would have expected it to come down a little bit further. Let me just get the fib and see where the 38.2 is. So I would have expected it to come down to the 38.2, which would have been right here, 1,437, but it actually didn't even come down to there. Although it did end up hitting it, take it from the actual bottom to the actual top. It hit 14,069. I still think that there's a lot of space right here on the weekly, which makes me a little concerned. And the same thing goes for Ethereum, that goes for Bitcoin, where I could see this low. I could just see this low getting ran. This is bullish for me. This is bullish, but considering what Bitcoin is and considering where Bitcoin is, and also this has the overbought stochastic RSI, so this is a bearish divergence on the RSI as well. This is another triple top pattern on the MACD. I'm not really liking it. Also, let's go down into a lower time frame. Let's do this just to look at it a little bit more clear. So I'll go down to the 12-hour as well. And let's see if we reset this chart. What does this look like? This looks like distribution. This is all distribution. It fell down, popped right back up. So that's really weird. That's weird to me that this popped back up. I wouldn't have expected this to pop all the way back up, but this, I could think, this is what I could think. I could think that the market makers or the people at, the exchange like CZ, or like the people with all of the money that are manipulating this market, I could see them thinking to themselves, okay, everyone else is seeing this as distribution. And then when we fell down, okay, that creates the perfect shorting opportunity right here. So there's going to be a lot of people loading up their shorts right here, and their stops will be where? Right above it, right here, right where this wick came. So this wick came, wicked down, or wicked up, stopped out everyone who shorted right over here, which is like where they were supposed to short. They shorted right here. Then it popped up, took out all their stops, moved back down. Maybe then the people would be like, oh, dang. So this is actually really, really bad. So I'm just going to re-enter my short. So then they re-enter their shorts, and then they probably puke on this candle right here, to be honest. They probably puke on this candle. So, or maybe they get stopped out right here because they put their stops right above here. And now we have the real move down. Because I was always thinking, at least for Bitcoin, we were going to move up to like 25.5 or something, or 25.4. Like we were just, I always thought that we were just going to take this high out one more time. We're going to take this high out and then crash down. But honestly, now it's looking like we're just going to crash down. So now this is a market structure break, bearish market structure break on Ethereum. You could see move. We had the low. We had the range from here, range low, range high, clear range, very clear range. We SFP'd the highs many times, came back down, deviated below the lows, shot back up. This was an easy long. I definitely, now looking back at this was probably an easy long, because this was pretty obvious that there were a ton of sell side liquidity and demand down here, because everyone was buying and buying and buying right here, right? So we got this, sweep the low, deviation of the lows, back up to the highs, SFP'd the highs, and now it looks like a deviation of the highs. So what do? You target the lows, and if we just plot this out like so, put the range, so we have the range, and this is the 50%, we're at the 50%. What I would do is I would look, and I would look to short, because we had a low, high, higher low, not really a higher high, but we'll count. This is a higher high as a close, and then boom. Now we broke first we broke the market structure here, and now we broke the market structure here. We broke the higher low. It's the only higher low. And then we had this, so higher low, higher low. As soon as this broke, honestly, as soon as this one closed, that was a short signal to short this right here. But I don't think we would have gotten it. We wouldn't have gotten it because this candle never came back up. So now that this one closed below here, if I bring this right here, if this one closed below this, then do I have another template for this? No, I don't. Okay. Then what you could do is you could put a short position on like this, and you could target, and then you target the lows. So that would be the trade for Ethereum based strictly off of this range right here. That was, like I just explained. I'm not going to explain it again. Although I would take my profit here, I wouldn't think that this area right here would be out of the question. This whole area is doable, but I'm going to raise it up to the 50. I think coming back down to the 61.8. Obviously, I love the 61.8. That's my thing, is like Fibonacci. But I think the 50 will get tagged. I think it'll get tagged at the 50, and then move up from there, because this is where if I put this is where the demand and SSLs are for Ethereum. So let me do this, and I would definitely have put a long. I would just spot buy here, and I would target. I'd probably target like 2K. Yeah, where's my high? I would target these highs up here, for sure. So yeah, this would be my trade for Ethereum if I had to. So I'm putting on 2 trades, and you can notice that my short position, I take my profits early for my short position because overall I have a long bias. So I don't want to get caught off guard with my short and round trip it, or have it like stop just below my take profit. I want to be conservative with my take profits for my short positions, and I want to be aggressive in my long positions. Like I want to try to get as much as I possibly can on my longs. So yeah, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking for Ethereum. And hopefully if it comes down here, then by the time it gets down here, maybe Ethereum against Bitcoin will be down here in this area, and then I'll get into Ethereum, and then Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin, or maybe it'll come all the way down here and it'll outperform Bitcoin there. This is pretty steep of a drop, so I don't know if it'll come all the way down here, but yeah, it's probably not going to do that. But regardless, that's pretty much the game plan. And then I'm going to go over one other thing. I'm going to go over some things that I was going over in the beginning of this recording. So give me 1 second. Okay, so one thing that I want to go over now is the thing that I was going over in the beginning, which was the conditional orders that are available in Bybit. So like I said, I used to use 3 commas, and I would put in these conditional orders for these like really, really, really good entries. And if they hit, then I would make bank. And if they never hit, it wouldn't matter, because I would still be able to use my capital for other trades in the meantime. And so I went through a couple things, and I'll just go through my charts right now. I looked at H bar, and I see H bar. If I take the fib from the bottom to the top, I see the 61.8. I see this is in the demand zone with the sell side liquidity right here underneath these lows at the big major support. Like you could see this, right? So this area is a huge demand area. This is a great area to buy, So I really want to buy here, but I don't want to lock up my funds in the meantime, because there's a lot of opportunities, right? So that's when I put on these conditional orders. So I put a conditional order in for H bar at 0.06, right? And I have my conditional order in. So if the price happens to come down there, and I'm away from my computer, I'm gonna snag it up at this price, right? And I don't have to just, I don't have to have, I have my alerts, right? Obviously I have my alerts, but I don't need to go in and manually like put my buy orders in now, just like once it gets close to it, because a lot of times it wicks down and it's like super quick. It wicks down. I don't have time and I miss it. So now that I know that Bybit has these conditional orders, I'm putting in these conditional orders. So I put this conditional order in for H bar. This is Dusk. Dusk had a huge run up, a massive run up. I do the same thing. Fib, bottom to top. See where the 61.8 is. Where is it? It's at the big 12-hour order block. So this is the move down before the move up that broke this market structure. It never came back to retest it. And plus it's a fair value gap as well. Plus it's a huge support / resistance flip area, as you can see back here. So this was big resistance, and then some resistance right here, some resistance right here, boom. So if it comes back here, this is gonna be a great support area. Also, if this turns out to be a head and shoulders pattern, this would be somewhat of a measured move down right into the support. So great area to buy for Dusk. So I have a conditional order for Dusk right here. For Apt or Aptos, same exact thing. And this is one of my strategies, and one of my best strategies. Fibonacci, bottom of the top, look for the 61.8, look for confluence, definitely some confluence right here, definitely some confluence right there. Okay, perfect. Have my conditional order in for there, right there for Aptos. And then for OP, same thing, Fibonacci, bottom to top, 61.8, confluence, yes, there is right here. Also, there's some back there as well. So I have my conditional order in for OP also. And I also just did VRA. I like VRA. Really good demand zone right here after a huge run up. So I definitely want to get in at these levels. So that's really cool. I just want to share that with you, that if you have Bybit, then you can use conditional orders and you don't have to lock up your funds, which is like amazing. So if you want that, if you want to trade on Bybit, I do have a link in my description that you could click on, and it gives me the trading fees, like a very, very small percentage. I don't really make that much. I don't think I made any money, to be honest. But if you do want to do it, if you do want to use Bybit, I would really appreciate it if you use the link below, because that would help me out. And also like this video, please like this video, subscribe to this channel if you're not already subscribed, leave a comment, do what you gotta do, because obviously it helps me out. I'm trying to grow this channel. I'm trying to provide a lot of value to you guys, and help you out and help you grow and help you make good investments. And there's some other things I want to say, but I'm gonna leave it for another video, because I don't want this one to go on for too long. So with that, stay safe. Hope you're doing okay. Keep on making those gains. Keep on stacking those sats. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.